This tutorial is designed to help teachers incorporate special education and 504 modifications into assignments they have built in Google Forms. It will also demonstrate how to assign modified assignments through Google Classroom to specific students whom you want to receive those modifications. It is actually quite easy to create modified and accommodated versions of your Google Form assignments. If you don't know how to create assignments, quizzes, or tests in Google Forms, see my previous videos that walk you through how to use this tool. First, open a Chrome browser window. You're going to go to the grid in the upper right-hand corner of the browser window and select it. You'll click on Google Forms. If you have already had the assignment built and saved in your Google Drive, you can navigate to it through your drive and open it from there. If you're starting with a blank form, go ahead and build your regular unmodified assignment before continuing with this video. Once you have opened your previously built assignment that you need to modify, you can begin then working on making your modified version of the assignment. First, go up here to the right-hand side and click on the vertical three dots. This opens a menu with a number of options on it. For this task, we're going to click Make a Copy. It will pull up a menu where you can name your new copy and also locate it where you want it to be. Now, the folder it's going to pick is the folder in which your form that you are copying from is already located. If you wish to move it somewhere else, then you would need to select that in this menu here. So we're going to rename this Practice 3. I'm just going to say Mod, and I'm going to keep it in the same place. You'll click OK, and it will begin creating your new form from your original form in a new tab. So for modifying the first kind of question, a short answer question, there are a couple ways that you can do that. I always require my students to answer using a complete sentence. That means they can't just give me one or two words. So in this one here, they have to give me a complete sentence. However, for a modified or accommodated student, and depending on your grade level, you may want to give them a sentence stem. So you might want to change that to highlight it and then change it to our school colors are blank and blank. And then I might add a little instruction here. Be sure to copy the sentence stem and as part of your answer. I want them practicing writing the full sentence, but they may need a little help getting to the full sentence. In multiple choice questions, you have a few options. You can click on the question that you're wanting to work on, and you can just delete one or more of the incorrect answers. I generally don't do this. I want the individual student and their family, if they see this form, to be sure that they are getting their required modifications. And so what I do, rather than replacing or erasing the wrong answer, is I'll click on it and it'll highlight it, and then I'll insert a series of dashes. And what that does is that shows the student and their guardians, their parents, that I have indeed modified from the standard assignment. This is not the standard assignment that the non-modified students would be getting. That's just a little bit of evidence, not just for teachers and students, but also your administrators if they happen to need to look at the assignments you're giving um, to ensure that you have done modifications, perhaps from parent concern or something like that. That can also be done in the checkbox. Also, you can delete entire questions, certainly. Uh, for example, maybe I want to get rid of this paragraph um, for a particular student or a particular group of students. Then all I have to do is just go down here once I've selected the question and click the trash can, and the question will appear. If you accidentally delete it, you can it always displays a little warning, and you can undo. You only have about 5 seconds to do that. Another modification that some students might have is oral administration of tests. There are some extensions that can be added to student devices that can assist with that, such as an extension called read write. You can also use audio recording on your device to do your own recording and administer this modification through recording. And if you're using a Microsoft uh, device, the voice recorder is down in the menu. You can scroll down to video recorder right here. Click on it, and it will open up voice recorder for you. Now, it's very easy to use. Move it up here where I can see. I would also, if you're going to be doing this very often, I would go down here and right click on the icon for voice recorder and pin it to the taskbar. That way you don't have to go look for it later. Also, if you're using a Chromebook, it's the same thing. Click on the little circle and it will bring up a search bar that you can type in voice recorder, and it will come up, and then you can pin it to the taskbar in a very similar way. So let's try it out. We'll hit record when we're ready to do the reading. What color was Riding Hood's jacket? Red, blue, or black? Now, you can do this a number of ways. You can make the recording question by question, or you can make the recording for the entire test. It's not a perfect system, but it's kind of up to you how you want to achieve that. Once you've got your recording, I think it's very important to immediately name it so that it ends up identifiable. Now, also from here, if you right click, you can open the file location. I like to go ahead and put things in Google Drive. So I'm going to open this tab, go to my grid, and open my Google Drive. I'm going to go to the menu I keep recordings in, and I'm then going to go back down here where it shows the files I have, the file folders I have open. I'm going to grab the one out of the recording, whether it's the whole test or the individual question, and I'm going to just click it, hold it, and pull it over. Then you'll see that the whole drive screen goes blue. That means it's ready to copy. So now it's uploaded. It'll bring up a tab here telling you that the upload is complete, and you'll see it right here alphabetically. Okay, so now we have to get it actually in the form. And the way this works is that you right click on the file and you will see a menu pop up, and you want to get a shareable link right here. So you click on that after you've done the full recording. I put the instructions here in a title by adding a title and making sure I've got it in the right place. And then in the description here, I paste the URL. So when students go and look at the document, they see they have a link, if it's the whole thing, right in one place, right at the beginning, and they have, or they have a link here with each question would have a link. The kid can click on the link when they're viewing it, and what comes up is a tab like this, and they can click on play. What color was Riding Hood's jacket? Red, blue, or black? Now, I recommend with students that if you're using this function, because you're playing it, but they also need to be reading it at the same moment, is that you teach students, or you might do it yourself if they're younger students, how to put tabs side by side. So you can grab a tab, click on it, and pull it down, and it pulls it in its own window. It will maximize, but I want to make it smaller. And then I want to hover on the edge, kind of shrink it up there. And then with the quiz or test or assessment, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click that out. I'm going to move it over here, and the student can then click play and stop as they're going through the test if you're doing the whole thing. So let's talk about the read-write extension that you can use in Google Tools. You can use it in Docs, you can use it in Forms, and several other applications. You do need to make sure that your school district allows students to add extensions, or they may need to, technology department may need to help you if they limit the adding of extensions. But you go to the Google Chrome store and the Google Chrome extension store, and you can do a search for the read write extension for Google Chrome and download it, install it, and it will put the little puzzle icon you see right here in your taskbar. When you click on it, it will bring up a menu. What the student does once they click on this and open up this menu is they're going to want to highlight where they want the test to begin being read. And I'm just in the middle of the test picking a random point. And they'll go up here and they'll click play.
Little Miss Muffet. 1 point. Let down her long hair from the tower, eating her curds and whey.
They can pause it. It does sometimes read too fast. I have turned it down, but you can actually go to the 3 dots over here, click on options if it's reading too fast, and you can either speed it up or you can slow it down. I think the default's about at 50, and to me that's just a bit fast. So let's talk about the final component about assigning the modified assignment or the regular assignment to students. You want to do that in Google Classroom, and you want to pick your period that you are assigning. If you're assigning an assignment to all your classes all at once, it assigns it to all students. If you're needing to assign some classes or some students in each class a modified assignment, then you need to add those assignments by class period. So what I've done is we opened in Stream, I went to the classwork tab, and I go to create. So you click on the create, you click your new assignment, title the assignment, and this is the modified version that you are assigning. You add, click on the add here, click on Google Drive. But here it is. I select it, click insert in the pop-up menu, and there you are. With modified assignments where you might want them to open up a tab to be able to play the video, if you have included the URL tab, you don't want to enable that on the modified version because the student won't be able to open up the audio. Up here, you go to the students. Default is all students. That's the default setting. So you might want to unclick that. Then you go through and find the students in that class period that require the modified version of the assignment. Once you've done that, it's going to tell you how many students you've assigned it to. And then you'll go ahead and assign it. Only those students will see that assignment. And you will then want, or maybe you'll do this first, you'll want your regular version, your mainstream version, for those students that are not getting the modified. Click on practice 3. It clicks on it. Now, when assigning the full version, especially since it's got the exact same title, you don't want your modified kids that you gave that to get the full version as well, because they'll end up being confused about which version they need to do, and they'll end up doing the unmodified, and then you haven't properly given your modifications. So then you make sure this one only goes to the non-modified students, and then you can pick your due date, a topic if you have it, whatever, and assign it. And so for me, what I see is I see the two assignments, one of which is modified, one of which is not. How do I know which is which? Well, here it's harder to tell, but if you go into the stream, I know it simply by how many students have been assigned that particular version. That's basically how you can do modifications and accommodations in Google Forms.